Hey, what's up guys, TotallyDubbed here, and today I'm doing a video review on the SteelSeries Rival 500. Now, it is an optical gaming mouse that is really aimed at MOBA / MMO gamers, mainly due to the fact that it's got its button configuration, which is very much interesting for those type of gamers. Now, the mouse itself can be found on Amazon.co.uk for around £65 and on Amazon USA for around $73. Links will be down in the description below alongside its specs. Now, in terms of the mouse, it comes like this in the box. There's nothing else included. It's terminated by a USB, which is unfortunately non-braided. The cable is non-braided, that is, and it's non-removable. The mouse itself is suitable for fingertip, claw, and palm grip users. My hand measures about 18 centimeters from top to bottom, and as you can see, it fits pretty well in my hand. So if you're a claw gripper, you're going to be holding it like this. If you're fingertip grip, like that, and a palm grip like that. For me, I had no problem holding it in either way. I prefer using it as a palm grip mouse, but that's also the style of mouse that I like. I should also mention there's two Rgb lighting zones over here, one by the SteelSeries logo and one by the mouse wheel. Both can be independently configured through the software, which I'll show you in later down in this review. Now, in terms of the mouse's build quality, I have absolutely no complaints, and in fact, I'm really much impressed with the button layout and the way that SteelSeries have positioned this mouse. They really know that the mouse is aimed for MOBA and MMO gamers, and for that reason, they've created a mouse to really revolve around them. Now, it is a right-handed mouse. I should also mention that. But as you can see, on the the right-hand side, you've got one solid button. You've got one middle button. You've got two on the left. And you've got 3 at the top and 2 at the bottom. Now, you might be wondering, will these buttons be annoying? Because considering your hand is always resting there, you might be wondering. Now, as you can see, if you switch it off, switch it around, sorry, you can find a green switch. If I turn that to red, they can no longer be clicked. There's a mechanical switch which essentially disables these buttons, meaning they're completely rendered disabled either through the software or through the hardware. Given it's a hardware mechanical switch, meaning that you can no longer press those buttons. It's a really simple and nifty trick that SteelSeries have added over here. I think it's a great way of people going from multimedia use and then going into gamer mode and then starting to use these buttons. It's a really nice and nifty trick and does really work wonders. I should mention that underneath the mouse you can remove these pads, however that is really for the longevity of the mouse. And you've got a Rival little pad over here which can be customized and be removed. Anyway, it's not coming out right now, but that can be removed. You might have trouble finding replacements of these. When I say that, I mean the customization options will have to be found through SteelSeries website, because as far as I'm aware, through retailers' websites I can't find them. Now, you've also got 2 separate buttons for the left and right mouse wheels buttons. You've got the middle click as well, and you've got the 2 default buttons left and right there. Now, if I just go silent for a little while, you're able to hear the mouse's clicks. Now, it's pretty much silent, but these ones are a little bit more pronounced and have a slightly different sort of sound to them. So do these ones on the side. No problems in terms of the sound, so I wouldn't have problems in terms of gaming at night. Now, talking about the actual functionality of the mouse, I must say I'm very much impressed. It's a great mouse that's really aimed for MOBA MMO gamers. I should mention as well, in terms of its weight, the weight of the mouse is 129 grams, meaning it's a relatively heavy mouse. That said, I don't see people flicking from left to right as you would do on FPS gaming. Rather, I see people doing this or moving around, and normally you'd want a slightly heavier mouse anyway. So good job SteelSeries for actually also thinking about that. But unfortunately, you've got no weight controls on the mouse. Now, in terms of the build quality of the mouse, it's flawless, but what about its performance? Now, its performance, I must say, is fantastic. It houses the Pixart PMW3360 sensor, which is highly regarded throughout the community for offering zero acceleration. And very much so with this mouse, you've also got zero acceleration. You've got up to 16,000 CPI/DPI, no matter what you want to call it, meaning you've got plenty to play around with, and you won't have any problems with that. I don't suggest people going for that high, but anyway, you've got that option if you so wish. I had no problems with tracking, where the tracking accuracy I felt was, as SteelSeries say, 1-to-1. I had no problems tracking through different surfaces. I had no problems when I was dropping it and doing this. I had no trouble in terms of acceleration or deceleration. When I was quickly going left and right, I wouldn't get sudden like going up or down of the mouse on my screen. It was staying very much linear and perfectly horizontal when I was quickly flicking from left and right, and therefore yet again the sensor is fantastic. So I'd have no problems playing at FPS games and absolutely no problems playing MMO or MOBA games with this mouse sensor found within it. Finally, the software, which really does round up the whole experience of the mouse. Now, the software is really well thought through, and I must say it's really well done because you've got loads of options that you can find in the software itself, where you can customize every single button. As you can see, all the buttons are listed down over here, including the default buttons, and I should mention as well that it's got tilt controls. Now, it's something I forgot to mention, but it also does have a tactile a bump to it, so to speak. In other words, if you have certain actions in games, your mouse will vibrate in sorts for it to notify you. So that means you can also have the tilting actions be also programmed to your heart's content, which is a really nice little touch over there. Now, as you can see, the slide button is locked. If I unlock it over there, it should unlock there. As you can see, it just unlocked. It's very much real time. The software works flawlessly. You've got two CPI changes over here which you can cycle through. Acceleration, deceleration, polling rate, which goes up to 1000, which is 1 millisecond as well. And you've got all the buttons which can be customized to your heart's content, including adding custom macros. So no problems there. Very much impressed with the hues. And as I said, with the color illumination, you can also change that per the illumination. So as in one for the scroll wheel and one for the button itself. Now, one thing I did find that it lacked is it didn't have inbuilt profiles. In other words, you'll have to use the configuration within the software, and you can't use it on board. Therefore, if you're going to be moving PC, which I presume you won't be, then you might be a little bit annoyed to find that your mouse settings haven't saved on the mouse itself, but rather on your PC and therefore on your software. So do bear that in mind if you are someone who's going to be taking their mice to LAN parties or whatever, that you're going to have to program it every single time. Other than that, guys, I've got absolutely no complaints about the Rival 500. It's a fantastic mouse. Yes, it is slightly expensive, but it does offer a lot of things, and I would say, given its ergonomics and given its looks and design, I think it's rather unique in the market. So top marks for SteelSeries for creating that. Anyway, guys, I've been Totally Dubbed. Hopefully you've enjoyed this review. Make sure you give it a like, comment, subscribe, favorite, and share, and definitely let me know in the comments below what you think. Alright, guys, I've been Totally Dubbed. Take care, and bye-bye.